is the Vintage RPG Podcast, your source for the best in classic and contemporary RPGs. With your hosts, Hambone and Stu.
Welcome to the Vintage RPG Podcast, here again from the clubhouse hidden somewhere in the swamps of New Jersey. I'm John Hambone, and with me as always is the editor-in-chief of Unwinnable.com. He thought I said Satan is coming to town, Stu Horvath.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Well, Satan and Santa aren't too far off in letters.
It's true. It's true. It's disturbing, but true.
Yeah, they're kind of like two sides of the same coin.
They're both red and black.
So today we're going to break from format a little bit, and we're going to do a holiday gift guide. Now, this episode is going to be released right around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is, for all our friends and family out there who are probably thinking about buying us some things for the holidays, just kidding. We want to talk about...
It made me panic because I picked stuff that I own.
Oh.
It's like,
oops.
Don't buy any of this stuff for me.
Yeah, don't buy this for us. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you because, you know, we all know that people have gamers and friends who are into games in their lives and are always wondering, what can I possibly buy that special someone who's into games? Well, we're going to tell you a few different things. We're going to talk about some options at the very high-end level for people who've got money to burn. We're going to talk about the middle of the road, and we're going to talk about those good old-fashioned stocking stuffers. So whether you celebrate the 8 crazy nights or you have a stocking hung by the chimney with care, we got you covered here at the Vintage RPG Podcast.
Ho, ho, ho.
That is the most festive I think I've ever heard you in like the 20 years we've been friends.
Which is funny because I'm a fairly Christmassy guy in terms of decorating. But Halloween, I don't dress up. I celebrate it in my heart.
You celebrate in your heart every day. It's just funny to think of you as the man who has Christmas in his heart at all times. So let's kick this off with the high end.
Okay.
Now, we all know that the real gift is friendship and time.
It's true.
That being said, if you have some money to burn and you really want to go for that over-the-top gift, we found a couple options for you here at the Vintage RPG Podcast.
Boy, did we.
Beadle & Grimm's Dragon Heist Platinum Edition is the Cadillac of game supplements for Dungeons & Dragons. Now, this is a company brought to you by Matthew Lillard of the Scream movie franchise fame, also the voice of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo.
Indeed.
And he loves Dungeons & Dragons.
And he actually, I believe, because of bad weather, his flight was canceled, so he had to drive to Gen Con to make it there.
Yeah, I actually met him at Gen Con, and he was hustling to get to Gen Con. Like, his flight was canceled. He took like 2 cars, and he drove all night to get there, to get to the Wormwood booth where they were hosting a very nice preview of Waterdeep Dragon Heist Platinum Edition. So he's passionate about this.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to miss it. He stood at the booth the entire time. He's hustling. He's selling. And this is a gaming supplement of the highest degree. Now, we've all had those deluxe books that we loved, and it's, to me, the closest that Wizards of the Coast has come to one of those great old TSR-style boxes in a very, very, very long time. That being said, the price point of it, which is $500, is high because of what it comes with. Now, I saw it unboxed because, you know, price point at $500, of course, right off the bat, you're thinking to yourself, I don't know about this. That's really out there. It's really expensive.
I mean, I'm thinking, oh, well.
Like, I bought a car for that much once,
that.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
That said, I went up there and I was talking to them, and I saw it unboxed, and it's gorgeous. I mean, everything about it is gorgeous. If you are the kind of DM who is very detail-oriented, they have it all broken up. So you don't just get the module. You get the module broken up into sections. Okay. So you only have to pull out what you need for that game, so you're not lugging around the entire book. You have it's almost like a pamphlet.
The small book thing is a cool thing.
They have all the monsters pre-made, and it's little hang charts that you can hang on the edge of your DM screen, so you always see what your monster you're fighting. So it helps you really stay invested in the game more when every character now knows what a bugbear looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm just pulling bugbear off the top of my head. Yeah. It comes with a ton of miniatures.
So there's a picture on the one side.
On the one side and stats on the other.
That's pretty cool. So we're talking like an extra $15-$20 right now.
Yeah, an extra $15-$20. Because for a DM, I mean, how many times you're just like constantly like looking into books? You only have so much gaming space at your table, but hanging off your DM screen.
Yeah, no, that's a great
I got
idea.
the stats. You see what you're fighting.
Yeah.
Tons of miniatures, and they weren't showing everybody what all the miniatures are because they don't want to spoil the game for people.
Okay, so there's a lot of miniatures. Are they painted?
I don't know if they're painted or not. This is the one question I didn't ask. It was overwhelming at a point because they were showing me so much stuff. Coins, tokens, and badges to hand to your characters, like legitimate, like Hand of the King from like Game of Thrones style badges.
Okay.
Amazing looking. So it's something that is very tactile that you could put in the player's hands. You also have the original artwork specifically for this thing. You've got battle mats for your miniatures that are dry erase. They've gone to extra step where if you're a dungeon master, you're a planner.
Yeah.
And if you are a dungeon master, you're generally going to be a detail-oriented person because you're trying to make sure all your T's are dotted and all your I's are crossed. So in this instance...
Other way around.
As I said it. You're right. In this instance, though, they have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's off. They've gone the extra mile to make this. I mean, this is a gift you get for your dungeon master. I mean, maybe it's a gift you get for yourself because why not treat yourself? But it's a gift that you get for your dungeon master because this is something that, for all the work a dungeon master has to put into a game to make sure you're having the time of your life, this makes their life a lot easier. So I definitely recommend checking it out. The Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Plus, it's a heist. It's a heist.
Yeah, that is a great idea. Do you feel like this is just because I'm such a hypercritical person, I can't let anything go? Do you feel like handouts, like tactile stuff, sells a D&D game the same way as, say, in a Call of Cthulhu game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has that same sort of...
It has that same vibe. Like when you ran Masks, and you were handing us all the printouts from the newspaper, when you went the extra mile and we made the maps and whatever. I mean, this thing comes with a ton of maps. This thing comes with everything you could possibly need, short of mechanical pencils and dice to roll a game for your friends.
And it scratches that same sort of itch?
It scratches that same sort of itch that up until recently, and we're going to talk about that in our mid-tier, I don't feel like we really got in the past from any kind of gaming system.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's nice. It's going to look great on your bookshelf. It's limited to 500 copies.
Oh, wow.
So they've only made 500 copies, so this is definitely going to be a collector's item. Again, this is, if you got the money to burn, or say you and your entire adventuring party wants to do something nice for your dungeon master, Beetle and Grimm's Platinum Edition Dragon Heist is what you want to pick up. Now, other fun things that you could buy at a high price level is Artisan Dice.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should have a nice set of dice, at least one. Any kind of gaming is something that you do with friends. And once you hit a certain point, you can keep buying dice and collecting dice. I love collecting dice. My mom gets me every Christmas, which is a great stocking stuffer, a pound of Chessex dice. That said, I definitely like having my very nice dice. That's my that's my special thing. It's my special dice I roll. It is my AK-47 when you absolutely have to kill every hobgoblin in the room. That's what you do. So Artisan Dice provides an entry point at about $27 where you can get a sweet wooden dice. And if you have a druid in your party, they're going to love that. And then they have dice sets that run up to $2,200, which is...
Oh my God.
It's a little daunting. I've also bought a car for about that much. Yeah. That said, do they roll better than the dice that you have? Maybe. Do they feel great in your hands? Absolutely.
There's a relationship between the craftsman and his tools, right?
Exactly.
And that's the same thing that's kind of going on with the Artisan Dice. I have some metal dice, I have some mineral dice, and I have some wood dice. Plastic dice are nice as well, but those metal dice, like I feel good rolling them. I feel like breaking them out, and it just feels good.
Yeah, I definitely need my dice box.
Yeah.
For my dice tray when I roll those metal dice, because you don't want to wreck a table. I have a titanium dice that I bought from Artisan Dice. I've got a sweet wood dice. I got a jet dice. And then, I was single for a while. I had a bunch of disposable income, so I spent $250 and I bought myself a dice made from the tusk of a woolly mammoth.
Hey,
that's 10,000 years old. Does it belong in a museum? Yes, I know it belongs in a museum. That said, it's something that is, I buy guitars. I buy guitars. I play guitars. The things that I use all the time, don't mind spending a little money in.
I think guitars are a great corollary. You don't use the same guitar for every song, right?
Right.
You change for tone. So, I have my dice that I use for Call of Cthulhu. I have my dice for D&D, and I switch them up. It brings something to it. It helps you get into a certain mindset. I think that's really important.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly. I also want to talk about, for the high-end, Wormwood makes great trays, vaults, and hero vaults. So if you're looking for a cool way to bring your dice and store your dice, especially if you have some sweet dice, starting at $25, which is a good entry point, you could get a hero vault, which is, if you have a miniature, like say a hand-painted beautiful miniature, it's a great way to transport them around safely without it getting wrecked. I actually use the Hero Vault for a full set of dice because it will also accommodate a full set of dice.
Yeah, I do too.
Also, they have different kinds of dice trays. So if you do have a metallic dice or a wood dice or something that you don't want to either chip on a table or get chipped, these dice trays are great.
Yeah.
And they look great too. And it's also nice to support someone who works with their hands.
Yeah.
So that's the high-end kind of gifts that you could possibly get for that special someone. Let's talk about the middle tier.
So Hambone, speaking of high-end props for role-playing games, there's one that came out for a game that we already played. It's called the Masks of Nyarlathotep prop box.
How much do you wish you had it when we were actually knee-deep in Masks?
It breaks my heart that I didn't have this when we were playing Masks.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? The box is full of glorious handouts. So the bulk of it is just reproductions of the stuff that's in the book. And the stuff that's from newspaper articles is printed on newsprint. Yeah, I can't understate how much I love that. It just feels different. It's a different kind of paper, and they printed ads on the back so it looks like, it was actually cut out of a newspaper.
Right.
It's so cool. And it's just like that added little bit. There's so much stuff in this box. I think it's $125.
Right.
It's from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, who have a long history of making props for the radio shows, for Call of Cthulhu, and other stuff. You get folders for each campaign location that contain maps. I got historical maps, blew them up real big for the wall. They actually provide those full-color historical maps. They're gorgeous. You get newspaper clippings. Everything in the game is reproduced with verisimilitude. So, like a letter that you find in a hotel room, it has a stamp on it. It's a letter in an envelope. Business cards reproduced. Matchbox. There's an Edison cylinder, like a recording cylinder.
Wow.
Well, it's not. It's just the box for the recording cylinder. Inside is a memory stick with MP3s on it of actors performing the monologues from 6 key characters.
Wow.
So like when you meet Jack Brady and he tells you what happened, I could have played this for you, and it's them dramatically reenacting the text from the book. It's fantastic. There's a full psych profile on the one character that's sealed and in like an actual folder, and an ancient Chinese scroll. And it's just the work that was done. It's super worth $125. It will bring your game to life if you're going to run Masks of Nyarlathotep.
Well, that's the thing with games is it's supposed to be a form of escapism.
Yeah.
So anything that will get you further immersed into the game is definitely worth the price. So, wow. Oh, man, I kind of wish you had that when we were running the game.
Every person that I've shown it to who has played the game, who was in our party, who's seen what's in the box, has said, I kind of want to play it again. This is all tied to the 7th edition re-release. There's a lot more new material, and just flipping through the handouts, I can see they've changed some stuff. And
right.
That's cool. That's exciting. So this is the perfect accompaniment to it. It comes in at $125. Now there's also a super deluxe limited edition version of this, weighing in at an astonishing $919.
What?
I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm not going to buy this. It does look pretty cool, though. You get a bunch of sculptural items. So, the Eye of Light and Darkness, it's an actual tablet. There's some statues. You remember the wands, the Egyptian wands that the bad guys used?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have those. You can get, like, actual reproductions of that. Comes with actual cultist robes.
Okay, listen, I got to say, for $919, it damn well better come with cultist robes.
Yeah, I know, right?
And good on you for thinking about putting cultist robes in the box.
Yeah. There's also a very cool case file box for, filing the paperwork for the players, which I think is a really nice touch.
Oh, that is a nice touch.
And as if they sat in on our campaign, there's a leather-bound campaign journal.
Oh, that's cool.
And Coleman would have loved that.
He went through how many moleskins?
At least 3, and I think it was 5 at the end.
Oh, cheese and crackers. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue it. It's a little out of the range, and maybe we should have put that in the front of the episode with all the high price stuff. But listen, a gift is a gift, and a good gift comes from the heart. And if your Keeper of Secrets loves artifacts and loves tchotchkes and loves things that will really help you immerse yourself, then go on and get this box. What else you got?
Let's talk about Art and Arcana, Hambone.
Yo, yes.
It is the book I wish that I had written.
It is the book that I wish I had when I was first getting into Dungeons and Dragons, because I had so many questions. I had so many different things I wanted to know, and this is one-stop shopping for anyone who either is dipping their toe in D&D for the first time or just wants a trip down memory lane.
It's really a perfect balance of D&D history and the scope of the art and how it changes and everything. It's a total package. I was so skeptical about it when it was coming out. When I saw all the ads, I was just like, this can't be as good as that I want it to be. And it actually delivered.
And that's pretty hard to do, especially when they just made one volume of it. However, it's all encompassing.
It's gigantic. It's 650 pages.
It is, isn't it? Huge. It is huge. And there's 2 versions of it. There
Indeed.
is the standard version, which on its own, the standard version is absolutely stellar. It is a perfect book, a perfect gift. It looks good on your coffee table. The expanded version, the deluxe version, actually comes with a lot of really cool extra goodies.
Yeah, it has these art prints, which are nice. Not super nice for me because they're folded, and I'm not going to put something that's folded on my wall, but maybe you did. Maybe you would. I don't know.
What I liked about them was that for a person who gets them now and the art prints are there, you don't have to rip them out of the original.
That's true, too.
So yes, they're folded. However, you can make them totally play and look great in your office, your game room, or anywhere where you hang them. It also comes with some additional original D&D replica work, right?
Yeah, it's the Tomb of Horrors notes, that the original notes that Gygax ran, typeset, with crappy little illustrations and whatnot, printed in the format of the OD&D book, so kind of small and on the brown paper, and it's super cool. It's something that you've never seen before. It's impossible to have seen before. It's never been published before. It's a really great addition. Also, the box it's weird to talk about how great the packaging is, but it's a clamshell black box with Hydro 74 art on it, gold on black. It is slick.
So normally we don't want to send you to Amazon to have you get any kind of role-playing supplements. However, the price is right. Right now on Amazon, the deluxe hardcover version of it, the one that Stu was just drooling over, is only $75. Now, normally $125.
That's a crazy discount.
It's a crazy discount right now. And I can imagine when this episode actually drops, it's going to come out before Black Friday. So who knows? You may even get a bigger discount than that. Now's the time to buy it. You can spend a little extra money. You can get that deluxe hardcover edition. And if you can't afford that and you're just going to go with the regular edition, hey, you know what? That is totally cool too. Get it any way you can. This book is an absolutely amazing book. If you're a fan of D&D, even if you're just a fan of great art, I highly recommend this book.
Hambone, would you call me a critical person?
Oh, you are so critical.
But it comes from a place of love, right?
It does come from a place of love.
This whole project is a thing where I get to talk about things that I like,
right,
and love, but that I nitpick them to death.
Absolutely.
That said, I have zero nits to pick about art and arcana.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Stu has zero nits to pick with something. This is a first time in the history of our friendship. We've been friends like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I think it's gotten cold in this room. Hell hath just frozen over
it's a fantastic
in Kearney, New Jersey.
It's so fantastic. It's perfect. I don't want to say it's perfect because nothing's perfect, but it's as close to perfect as I can say a thing is. Go
Folks,
buy it.
You heard it here first. Art and Arcana, go check it out. For my pick in the middle range, I have D&D The Isle of Dread from Goodman Games. Now, Goodman Games is at it again. Last year, they did an amazing job redoing Keep on the Borderlands. So what they're doing this time is a updated 5th edition conversion and classic homage to Wilderness Model X1, The Isle of Dread.
I love that module so much.
I'm so excited about it. It is a beautiful tome. I know from the quality of Into the Borderlands, this is going to be amazing. And it's a good entryway into if you're like, oh man, I wish I could play like classic Dungeons and Dragons, but you don't want to go back and have to slug through THAC0. The conversions are great because it's 5th edition, so what everyone's playing right now. So it has that amazing 1st edition feel with 5th edition rules. So you're going to have the best of both worlds. So it's a good way to dip your toe in the classics without having to fully dive headfirst in and cannonball into the waters of 1st and 2nd edition. So this is going to be out. The pre-order will be available now. As this episode drops, the pre-order will have started about 10 days ago, and it's going to get released in December 2018, just in time for the holiday season for everybody.
Is it going to be as beefy as Into the Borderlands?
I don't know. I hope so. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be because, we've had Keep on the Borderlands, and you see how thin that module is.
Yeah.
And this is a textbook, essentially what came out with Into the Borderlands. So
yeah.
I know they're going to do a good job with it. Very, very excited to revisit the Isle of Dread as a 5th edition module.
That's going to be awesome.
So now we're going to talk about affordable gifts.
You mean not $919 gifts?
Yes, we are going to talk about things that aren't $919. Now, it's important to us to always put over independent creators, especially ones we love. Shout out to World Champ Game Co. Shout out to Bodhi. They're just not going to be open for the holidays. Their web store is going to be closed.
I was so bummed. I wanted to rant and rave about everything that World Champ has in their store, and they're like, he's not fulfilling orders until the 15th of December, and it's like,
and that's going to get there a little too late for the holidays.
Yeah.
That said, go order all his stuff. He's amazing. Go check out Bodhi's stuff. Bodhi's amazing too.
Yeah, back Bodhi on Patreon. His adventurer packs are awesome.
They are awesome. So I want to talk about some smaller gifts or some more heartfelt gifts. one of the things that I fell in love with this year, as you know, is Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters.
Yep.
Now, this is a game that's fun for the whole family. It's a 4-player game. It is about $30, depending on where you find it. And it's something that will engage everyone at the gaming table. It's going to be a fun, fast-paced game to play to get your blood pumping and get you ready to have a great gaming season this holiday. So I highly recommend that. And if you could find the expansion for it for about $25, it really does complete the game. It is incredible. Another thing that I really loved this year was Srg Super Show. It is a 2-player head-to-head competitive card game. It is all about pro wrestling. And if you love pro wrestling, you have someone in your life who loves pro wrestling, this is a great way to bridge the gap between professional wrestling and gaming, because you're not going to have to take bumps here. You're just throwing cards down. It's easy to play for everybody. Sets start around $20-25.
You know, I was just on their website today, and I was just really impressed with their operation and their gumption. I really like their whole pursuit of the game. I think it's such a great concept for a game. And yeah, go buy it. It's fantastic. It's a great 2-player game to keep in your back pocket.
It's great because it travels well. So if you are going on the road this holiday season, going to see some family, it's something that you can easily take with you and escape crazy family members when they start saying weird stuff at the dinner table.
Yeah, you could pile drive your racist uncle, and in theory.
I love that you're still going for it, Stu, and I appreciate that about it.
Do they still do pile driving?
They still do pile driving.
Right.
It's only banned in Louisiana.
Wait, is that true?
No, seriously, it's legitimately banned in Louisiana.
Oh, we should talk about that on another podcast.
We should definitely talk about that on another podcast. So finally, one thing I want to say is you can go and order a pound of dice from ChessX. Now, earlier in the episode, we did talk about, listen, my mom gets it for me every Christmas. I love it.
I love it.
I love my pound of dice. What is really cool about it is that you could either just give it to someone as a pound of dice, or a cool idea is if you've got a group of people that you game with, why not make them all special sets of dice?
I did that last year or 2 years ago.
And you did do that last year. Stu actually bought his entire gaming group a set of dice. This is cool with the ChessX pound of dice because it's a little more affordable to just buy a whole pound of dice. It comes with one complete set of dice in there in the package, and it's a mystery. It comes in a little brown envelope, and that's what I really appreciate about it, the mystery of it all. However, you can go and you could get little Ziploc baggies and you can make complete sets of dice for all your friends. And that's something cool. So if you don't have a lot of scratch and you do want to give something to your friends, get a pound of dice and split it up. It'd be more fun for everybody. So that was the Vintage RPG Holiday Gift Guide. Everything that we talked about, we are going to put links to in the show notes on unwinnable.com. We want you to be able to, if you like it and you think you want to check it out, click on it and maybe buy it for that special someone or yourself this holiday season.
I'd like to add, no matter what you're buying for your friends and family during the holidays, especially if it's Dungeons and Dragons or role-playing related, it's not a big industry. So if you can, try and buy it directly from the publisher instead of Amazon. Gives them a lot more money, keeps them in business.
Absolutely. And also, this is a half-hour program, so there are a ton of different things that are so great.
So many.
We just don't have time to cover.
Yeah.
So I encourage all of you to look on things like Etsy, go on eBay, find your local friendly gaming store, and just walk in and ask the guy or gal behind the counter, hey, what's good?
Yeah.
Because you might find something that you didn't know existed and something that may change your gaming life for the better.
Indeed.
And also want to say, you know what? We said Christmas, we talked about Hanukkah. People celebrate all kinds of holidays. Some people, they don't celebrate at all. And sometimes the holiday season is just kind of hard for people. So if you got that someone in your life that you think maybe could use a friend or maybe use an invite to a game, invite them. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're all going to have a good time together.
Yep.
And the real gift is friendship and time. So for Stu Horvath, I'm John Hambone. May the dice always roll in your favor.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Every review helps other listeners to find us. The Vintage RPG Podcast is a ham-fisted production. Music by Dego West. Art by Schaefer Brown. If you like the podcast, you should also consider becoming a patron at patreon.com.